Financial wellness. Reach out to them for advice at 855-DON-GINO. And now back to your hosts, Don Getling and Gino Franti.
Welcome back, and we would truly like you to reach out to us anytime if you need any assistance with finding out how much you qualify for, how much home you can get, if you should refinance, if you have mortgage insurance on your home, get rid of it. I mean, everybody has finally some equity position. Rates are great. Take advantage of it before it moves. This is not an infomercial. This is real life. We save people every single day hundreds of dollars on their mortgages. I'm telling you. Or people are actually pulling money out of their homes again to either pay off debt or improve their homes, which is a cool thing.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of cash out refinances right now, especially with people that have mortgage insurance. One of the interesting things that we could do, or we're seeing done, is that we're able to pull some cash out, pay off some debt, and still save money because of how expensive mortgage insurance was. Now, that doesn't mean
That's a win-win.
Yeah, but mortgage insurance is not as bad as everybody says it is, or as bad as they think it is, because most of our clients that had mortgage insurance that we're getting rid of today were able to enjoy 20 to 25% appreciation over the last year and a half because they paid for mortgage insurance, and they made a lot of money on that investment.
That's right. You don't need 20% down to get into a home, by the way. I'm sure Erika will help you out with one as low as 0 down. VA loan, 3.5% down, or even less than that with FHA loan. There are options out there, and you need to take advantage of them because, thank goodness, the rates have come back down to the low 4s. And we are up to 5% now, low 4s. It's so funny when everybody gets all excited. That rate's so high, they were in the 3s. Oh, my goodness. The average interest rates over time is well above 6%, really around 7%. So grab it while you can, because this has made it more affordable. And Erika's going to help explain why now is a great time to sell or buy. Even better than it was, because there was a time we had no inventory and everybody thought it was because it was not a good market to buy or sell, but that wasn't the case. Erika, why don't you explain why we had so little inventory and why now we have more inventory and why it's better now than it was in the past?
Well, we have an increase of inventory where before, and every once in a while I'm the same way when I'm looking at the houses coming on the market, is there something where maybe we want to move up or move down or, just change our situation, and you didn't have a whole lot to choose from. And, and even when you had all the all cash buyers and people would say, where did these all cash buyers come from? Well, not everyone just kind of sticks their head in the ground and doesn't pay attention to what's going on with the market and the seasons, whether you're in the industry or not in the industry. And a lot of people bought or sold at the height of the market. They hung on to the cash. They waited for this to happen. They rented, and then they paid cash for their houses. So you have a lot of people who really do watch the trends and watch things happening. And a lot of people weren't putting their houses on the market because you had nothing to choose from. Where would you go? What would you do? And you would have that contingency, and a buyer would just be sitting around waiting because there's no place for you to go. Now we have an inventory. We have something to choose from. With the interest rates being so low, I'm sure you guys can agree with me that, if you can't refinance because the ratios just don't work, you most likely could maybe move up in a house or move, and your mortgage is going to be less than what you're paying now. And you have a few people who can do that, but people don't think of that. They just say, can I refinance? No. Can I refinance? Can I make it lower? No, because they don't have those ratios, but yet they're going to get enough money out of their house to be able to put 10% down, 5% down, and get into another house and have either the same or a less mortgage than what they're currently paying.
Yeah, what I always love to talk about, and one of my passions, is when you go ahead and sell that home, especially if you had it for the last 2 years, you could take advantage of tax-free money on capital gains exemption. Mm-hmm. And so if you can cash out right now after the largest increase in equity in a short amount of time ever, if you could take advantage of that to get your tax-free money, move up into a new home at low interest rates again, and do that over and over again, that's a great deal.
Right. And I feel like with the consumer that they should know, it's kind of like when you're in school, no question is a stupid question. And if you wonder, stay off of the computers, stay off of trying to find out what your mortgage would be or going to all of these different mortgage calculators, and call a lender, call a professional who can talk you through it. I promise, me as a realtor, I'm not going to ask for your email. I'm not going to hound you. I am not going to come beating down your door. And I know you guys are the same way. Absolutely. You're not going to force them to do anything they don't want to do, but be able to educate them and say, hey, this is what kind of a payment you're looking at, or call me and I can say, hey, this is what your home is worth. You know, a lot of people, like even we were talking at the break, the Stevenson Ranch area, you know, some of the realtors around me are going, gosh, their prices are really increasing, and I can't believe they're getting this much for their house and that much for the house. Well, they no longer have to compensate for Mello-Roos. A lot of the houses don't have the Mello-Roos anymore. It's gone. So they're able to get kind of a higher value, because before, when you have the places with the Mello-Roos and that adds so much more to the payment, they're compensating by what their price is. They're having to discount their price in order to stay competitive within the rest of the marketplace. So it's you know, really going to a professional and just asking. It doesn't hurt to ask. You're not going to be tied to us. I'm not going to make you sign a contract or force you to sell your house, but at least become educated and ask the questions, because it could ideally change your whole perspective on buying or selling, or your life, really.
And one thing that's probably gone overlooked, and I think everyone out there knows it now, but we've talked so much about Erika's role as agent development, but hey, she is a real estate agent, a seasoned real estate agent, double threat. Yeah. Triple D. Wait, what are the triple? Give me the breakdown real quick.
Well, it was when we were at RE/MAX, my mom and my sister Kathy and I, so it was Diane and Daughters devoted to service. It was Diane Kauzlarich and 3D. Then 3D Real Estate was taken, so we went with Triple D Realty. Actually, because being in rodeo, Triple D would be a brand, but a lot of people went to chest size.
Of
so
course. Of course.
Nothing to do with
Never
our chest
crossed my
size.
mind.
But, so then we changed the slogan to dedicated, devoted agents.
Yeah, but I just wanted to point that out, because, I mean, as an agent, you would certainly know one of the biggest questions I find from people when they're doing their home search is, anything but Mello-Roos, anything, right? I mean,
right. Yeah, and you know, you can't get rid of it. I think that I like to educate clients that, you know, it does a lot of good. It's why you have the schools. But again, it has to do with a family situation. Let's take West Creek, for example. If you don't have children and your main goal isn't something like the West Creek Academy, then that might not be an area where you're going to pay that Mello-Roos, because for the difference in the Mello-Roos, you can have more money purchasing power. And not to say that that's a bad, but again, it has to do with your individual family situation. It has to do what's right for you and for your family. So sometimes I'll say, you know, if they say I don't care about Mello-Roos, that's a different story. But you know, if they're going, I want to be up here, well, you're paying Mello-Roos because you're getting a West Creek Academy, you're getting a top-notch school, you're getting a lot of things that come with that, and it's having to understand what that is all about and why we have it. So it's kind of that shift, you know. The builders got smart, so it's like, oh, we'll add Mello-Roos and then you don't have to pay $1 million for the house. You know, you have more respectable prices, and
there's reason behind a lot of this, and if you're listening, you're probably hearing the same thing I'm hearing, and that's experience. You can see that Erika Kauzlarich-Bird with RE/MAX, just clarifying who we're talking to today, and we have Scott Crayon joining us from Cherry Creek Mortgage, that Erika is sharing with you things that most real estate professionals that aren't as experienced wouldn't even think about. But you look at all areas of the spectrum, you know, whether it's, you know, what are their goals? Do they have children? Do you want to pay Mello-Roos? Do you realize the value here? Call me to get a real value, because a lot of you astutely said, please stay off the computers looking for, it's one thing to look at homes that are available. That's fine. We all have applications for you to do that. But to go and find out what the value of a home, comparing to Zillow, nothing against Zillow other than it's a marketing company, just so you know, and they use an algorithm that takes an average of all home sales. Well, there could be $1 million homes across the street from your home of 600. They're going to average it, and all of a sudden they tell you your home's worth 800. Oops. Yeah. Go to a professional that knows the difference.
And Scott knows, because we're working together. He knows how involved I get when it comes to the loan part too, especially if I have clients that it's kind of tied on, we only want our payment to be this much, and you know, and the clients, I'll go to Scott. I mean, we've been emailing back and forth, because I'm like, okay, what if we do this scenario, then how much is their payment? And I make him break it down every time. I don't care if I'm bugging you.
Not at all.
I make him break it down every time, because I'm also not going to get a client excited about a house and then get into it and find out, well, we can't afford this house, you know, and it's just a matter of really being creative and the experience, and Scott and I together going, okay, how can we make this work and make the payment? So
right, and one thing that's tough about this market right now, is that, you know, although there are a lot of houses to choose from right now and rates are low right now, we're seeing those numbers on unemployment, and usually when you start to see some positive territory there, that usually means what? Interest rates will probably go up too. So I actually almost think that a little bit of a rise in interest rate will help move this market along a little bit.
Well, and we have all those that are going to be jumping in, trying to get into the home for the holidays. So make sure you reach out to Erika. How can they get a hold of you, Erika?
I give everyone my cell phone number, which is 510-3136.
That's easy. 510-3136?
Yep, that's it.
3136.
And if you're off by a digit or two, you reach someone in my family. So.
Nice.
That's awesome. Great job, Erika.
Thank
you.
you. Thanks for
Erika
having me.
Kauzlarich-Bird with Remax of Valencia, Scott Crayon with Cherry Creek, and of course, Don and Gino.
Hey.
Thank you, Shannon. And thank you, AP Production, Mr. Furman. And we'll be with you next Thursday at 12 o'clock.